Hi, today I would like to present an Ajax application using Spring and DWR. The audience for this tutorial is entry or medium level programmers with knowledge of object-oriented and internet programming using tools as HTML and JavaScript. The tools used in this tutorial are Java, Tomcat Servlet Engine, Spring Framework, DWR for Ajax, and Eclipse as a text editor. To use the examples of this tutorial, you need a minimum of Java and Tomcat installed. As any servlet application, you need to configure web.xml with, in this example, context loader listener. That class is the Spring Framework context loader. It will allow your servlet to have access to the Spring services and Spring beans. One parameter of the context load listener is the context config location. This tells the context load listener where the configuration file, the Spring bean file, is. Here I call it application context.xml. Application context.xml in my example has one line. It describes the bean called echo service that points to a class, a Pojo class called hello echo that service that the class name echo service. Very simple. In web.xml I have also indicated the servlet that is going to handle all the Ajax calls. I call it DWR invoker, and it points to the DWR servlet. And I'm going now to tell the servlet that all calls that start with DWR need to be routed to DWR invoker. Very standard servlet configuration. The DWR invoker servlet needs DWR.xml configuration. In that configuration, we're gonna link the JavaScript library, and we call it echo service, to the bean echo service that we declared on the server. I could have picked a different name for the JavaScript library, but I keep them the same just to reduce confusion. That's all you need to do to create a JavaScript library that is the reflection that allows you to call the same method on the bean that you have created on the server. This file is very simple. This is your context file. You put it under your Tomcat installation conf catalina localhost. You can call it root.xml, and it points to, in my example, C projects hello. You can put it anywhere you want, really. Let's have a quick look at the Pojo application, the Pojo class on the server. I called here echo service. Here you see it on my Eclipse. And it has one method called echo. It takes an input parameter, a string, and returns a string with brackets around it, the same string with brackets around it. This is a very basic method, but you can imagine you can create complex services that can go to the database to persist information, to retrieve information, or they can go to files, that can connect to other servers, other services on the internet, or it can do some complex calculations that you cannot do on the client. So that's all my echo service, and you see it's a very simple class, Java class, plain old Java object. On the client side, what I want to do, I'm going to show you what I want to build. It's a very simple echo class. So on top there is a I have the time here, an input field, and what I want to do is every time I click on echo, I want it to go to the server and come back with those brackets. So that's what I want to do. So in my client code, my HTML, and I call it here index.jsp, I have two first lines are JavaScript libraries that DWR provides for us, engine.js and util.js. The third line is our JavaScript library that we create, that is the reflection of the POJO on the server. We call it here echo service.js. DWR is going to create on the fly echo service.js. And what I want to do, as you saw it, is when a user clicks on echo, the button echo, I'm going to call this method echo. And all this method does is call echo service, echo, and the value. You can see that it's almost identical to how you would call it on a Java side. And I pass here my callback method, meaning when the server is done processing my request, it will call back, the server will call back on this method, echo callback. It's not really the server will call back, but the return of the server will come back to this method, echo callback in green here. And what I do with the response, I just set it in the region of my HTML. That's all I do, and you saw it, and it seems to be doing what I ask it to do. Now, to make the thing a little more interesting, we are going to modify our example. So here we're gonna add a date, let's say. Right? So here Eclipse is not happy. Going to add declaration of Java util date and save the file. To restart the server, let's do that quickly and restart it because I made a code change. I'm gonna reload my page, and now when I click on echo, I should see the date next to it. And you can see that the date on top, the time on top doesn't change, but the time on the bottom does change. So what I did here, I made a call to the backend, to the server, got information, and I'm showing it on the page without refreshing the page. This is what Ajax allows us to do, and we just saw with DWR and Spring how easy it is. So we just described how easy it is to use Ajax really without deep knowledge of the details of technology, which could get a little confusing. Now your HTML JSP can make server calls without page refresh, which is what we see, for example, when we use Gmail. We see that we have a notification that an email came without page refresh. That's what Ajax allows us to do. Now with Ajax you can build powerful applications, powerful user interface that are more intuitive and less cumbersome for the users. This concludes our tutorial for today, and your comments and suggestions are welcome and appreciated. Thank you.